Rita went to her mailbox to retrieve her mail. One letter in a plain white envelope with no return address caught her attention. She knew who had sent it. She put aside her other mail, took the plain white envelope over to her desk, opened it and began to read. "Hi Rita, it's me. We haven't talked for a while and I thought I'd bring you up to date on a recent event as I feel that you are the only person who really understands me. I was out at the beach the other night, a new beach in an area I've never been to before. I saw an interesting looking Mediterranean restaurant on the way out here and thought I might check it out later. It was around midnight, hours after closing, but as you know this is always my favorite time to do this. I was standing behind some trees in a grove that occupies the western side of a picnic area in an adjacent park. For a while I watched a few seagulls flying overhead and wondered about their internal organs and how they functioned. I wished I could see into them as they moved about. Wished I could witness all of their bodily functions in real time. I had dissected frogs back in school, but of course they were already dead, and though it was a cool experience, it also left me feeling kind of empty at the same time. There was something, definitely lacking in the overall experiment. Live frogs would have been better. Then, I felt something at my feet. It was a turtle about the size of the palm of my hand. I reached down and picked it up. I held it up in front of my face and looked it in the eyes. I began, then, to wonder about the insides of the turtle. I took its head between my thumb and forefinger and began to twist. I twisted until I was able to pull the head away from the body and look inside, but there wasn't much to see, especially in the dim light of the moon. I then stuck my little finger into the neck opening and tried to feel around, but not much to feel either, just some squishing and oozing. When I tried to extract my finger, the neck opening closed around it like a Chinese finger trap. It dangled off the tip of my finger as if it still had a mouth, a little turtle mouth suckling on me. Of course if didn't for I could clearly see its mouth on its head, which was laying at my feet. I pulled the body from my finger and it made a tiny slurping and popping sound, which I found amusing, and I dropped that at my feet as well. It was then that I heard a woman giggling and then a man's voice. It was my favorite kind of people. A couple of drunks. They were probably in their 30s and clearly had spent a fair amount of time at one of the local bars and were taking a shortcut through the, now closed, park. "Are you sure this is safe? It's kind of creepy," I heard the woman say. "Don't worry, you're with me," I heard the man reply. "I do this all of the time. Nothing is going to happen to you, well at least not until we get to my place," he laughed. I adjusted the hunting knife in the rear of my waistband, you know, the one with the long blade, serrated edge, and I started toward the path they were taking. They were talking about having just met each other at her friend's party and how they knew her friend had set it up for them to meet. I stepped out onto the path behind them. "Excuse me," I called out with a disarming smile on my face, "but I saw you drop these," I said, extending my hand and holding out some dollar bills. I moved within range to hand them to the man. And as his gaze moved down from my face to focus on the bills I pretended to accidentally drop them. "Sorry," I said. With his attention further averted, I was able to quickly step in and plunge my knife into his stomach, a move I've practiced many times at home. I was on the woman before she had a chance to react. I put her in a choke hold and proceeded to finish her off with the knife also. Of course, as you know by now, I had to slice her throat. Don't know why, but when it comes to women, I always like to do that. Lucky for me the money trick worked. It usually does on drunks, especially since I'm a woman. That fact alone seems to make the guys lower their guard. Anyway, that's all for now. I'm not sure when I'll be writing again. The urge doesn't come as often as it once did. As always, all my love. Me. Rita folded the letter and put it back into its envelope. She, then, unlocked the bottom drawer of her desk. Here she kept the previous letters. She took out a fresh envelope, addressed it to herself and placed it in the drawer along with the new letter. After that, Rita took out her cell phone and texted her boyfriend, Jim. "Hey, I saw this new restaurant the other night that I'd like to try. My treat if you're up for going out tonight." "Sounds good." Jim texted back.